Don't be afraid to shoot the outside, Jay. Get your head in the game.
Why am I feeling so wrong?
Wait, I had another one. It started.
My head's in the game, but my heart's in the song.
I was also thinking to start it. Mucho gusto.
I'm not gonna do Sharpay.
Come on.
Ay, que fabrosa.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
All right, what episode is this? I don't remember this time.
16?
16 of the Elbow Nudge podcast. I think all of us know what we're talking about now, Caroline.
In case they don't, I'll say it.
In case they didn't click on the episode while title. They had their eyes open.
In case they just saw their Spotify notification and just tapped it.
Yeah.
This is the High School Musical episode.
And it's about time.
It's about
time we did a DCOM.
Yeah, that we covered a DCOM, and second that we hit High School Musical. I'm glad we're getting the best as we start.
I feel comfortable in this area. I feel like we're back at home, and I feel like this is the whole point of this podcast.
What is to cover DCOMs?
Yeah.
You might be right. It just
feels right when I was watching it. It feels right.
I think our first conversations around starting something like this was around a DCOM. We were like, man, I wish we had like more reasons to watch DCOMs. And that was kind of like alluding to what if we do a podcast, but 10 Cloverfield Lane was the catalyst.
Yeah, this happened like very shortly after 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh yeah, but DCOMs definitely played a role in this.
Yeah, it has a very special kind of quality I just haven't been able to find anywhere else.
It's so nostalgic, so good. The writing is like no other. The fashion is like no other. Oh my gosh, I was paying attention to all like that early 2000s fashion.
Yeah.
In High School Musical, amazing.
Yeah, let's start getting into some of that. Let's start picking out what you want to talk about.
Sure.
But wait, I just want to let them know this is a full conversation about High School Musical and song rankings today.
Yes, we will be ranking the songs. And we're only covering High School Musical 1. I know in the past we'd like to hit a whole franchise, but I think whenever we cover a DCOM, I want to give the DCOM itself the respect it deserves, so we'll only cover one at a time.
All these movies deserve respect.
Absolutely.
Every movie we've covered.
Yeah.
We treated it very respectfetly, unless it was 2001: A Space Odyssey.
A Space Oddity, you mean?
Oddity. We didn't even write the name correctly.
Nope. I couldn't even say the name correctly on that episode.
It was a fine movie.
Yeah.
We respected it.
I feel a little bit this is a real aside, like real side conversation, but the final game, you know how they're battling against the Knights?
Yeah.
My high school, their mascot is the Knights. So
were you rooting for them?
No, I know I wasn't.
Were you rooting against our Wildcats?
I did have a couple of friends tell me, like, "Oh man, we lost to the East. We lost to the Wildcats."
Of course.
And I was like, you can't beat them. They have their head in the game. That's why.
They got the best playmaker in the game.
Yeah, they do. Troy Bolton. Extraordinaire.
I want to mention, since we're talking about it, and it doesn't even lead to big discussion, but I noticed whenever Troy is practicing, he never misses a shot. And I know this was intentional, but I just like that they did it. But then when they have like the big breakup moment with Gabriella and Troy, and his team is happy, like, yeah, all right, we got him to focus in the game, get the head in the game, he's not going to sing anymore. He starts missing all his shots. He's playing at home, he can't even land the shot, and his dad notices too. And then once him and Gabriella get back together again, his head is in the game.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome.
You can have your head in the game and your heart in the song. Beautiful.
That's what Disney has taught me. After all these years. That's right.
I remembered when I was, because I've also been playing quite a lot of video games this week, and I watched High School Musical and have been listening to the soundtrack. And I can't remember what exactly it was. I think I was just looking at my
I
gamer
know
pick
exactly where you're going with
on
this.
Xbox, I opened up my profile and I suddenly remembered that I have the lyrics for "Get Your Head in the Game" in my Xbox
I
bio.
have High School Musical lyrics in my bio as
Well,
well. Do you
well.
remember which one?
No, which one are yours?
All right, maybe when we get to the rankings, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right, all right,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. But yeah, it's been there for a while. I remember that day
Yep.
when actually it's probably straight up after when we saw High School Musical during
Yeah, I
our
remember.
weekly viewings.
I changed mine the week, like the day we saw High School Musical. I was like, yeah, I'm changing my bio.
Yeah, that's when I got it too. So I'll keep it a secret for now.
Okay, fine. I do, but I'll get into the premise because then I do want to talk about like the side characters. I feel like the supporting cast, if I want to call them supporting, I have a lot of issues with them.
Yeah, who
But
do you consider supporting?
the only supportive person in this whole movie is Ryan, because he's the only one that's like is supporting something. Everybody else is.
What?
I'll get to it.
I
The
don't know what
premise.
you mean by that.
I'll get to it. I'll get to it. The premise of this film is for those who haven't seen it, if by chance you haven't seen High School
They've
Musical,
all seen it.
just Troy Bolton, basketball star, Gabriella, science nerd, meet at New Year's Eve party.
Einsteinette.
Einsteinette. Einsteinette meet at a New Year's Eve party. They sing in karaoke, and there's an instant connection. It's the start of something new. And then cut to winter break is over. They're going to high school. They realize, oh my gosh, they're at the same high school. And they had such a flow when they were singing together. They don't want to give that up. So they decide, you know what? Let's try out for this musicale that is being done at our school. And everybody else in this high school is like, this ain't right. You know, there's a quo, there's a status quo and you need to stay in your lane. But this movie is all
Are you just
about
gonna reference all the song titles?
breaking free and and figuring and knowing that you could be whoever you want to be. You could do two things. You can have different passions, and that still makes you the same person with your other passions. And you know what? You can get your head in the game, but have your heart in the song. And we're all in this together in the end, and we should all be helping each other. And that is the story of High School Musical. But my issue is they're singing "We're all in this together," but in the film, their quote unquote best friends are constantly trying to tear them down. I do not understand the thought process of these friends.
All
First,
right, explain it.
you
Go ahead.
have there's everything is against them. Like from the beginning, Troy and Gabriella clearly have a connection. And they clearly want to sing together and be in this musicale, but literally everybody is against them. Troy's dad, Troy's friends, Gabriella's friends, like, and then you have Sharpay. Like, everybody is against them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the only one that's not against them is Kelsey. I think she's the only supporting role because she's the only one actually supporting them.
What about Miss Darbus?
She's even like not taking Troy seriously. She thinks he's trying to sabotage her musicale by like that he's like a little secret agent planted by his dad. So even
She gave
she's
him
like
the callback, even though he was late.
yeah, but even then, like she was what's that? I'm like, I don't know what you're up to, Mr. Bolton, like, but I will not have you making a mockery of the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's still kind of like she didn't even really give the callback until she heard them sing with Kelsey, and it's like
So your problem is the story, pretty much. Do you feel like the story gave them good reasons? Because that's obviously the problem that they overcome in the story. But do you feel like it's a good reason to? Does everyone have a good reason to do that? Do you think Troy's dad wanting his son to, win scholarships and have his head in the game, is that a good enough reason? Do you think that his friends wanting their playmaker, their lead on their team to keep his head in the game so that they could win this, and like, do you think those are all good reasons? Or are you upset because those are not good enough?
No. I can validate and I can see the reasons behind those two. I think the one that gets me mad the most is Gabriella's friends because she's really only known them like a week or two and a half. Like she's barely
Even less,
met them.
because
Yeah,
that was the first day she transferred.
she's really only known them for a couple of days. I don't know what the time span is of
At least a week.
yeah,
I think
but
just 1 week.
and they're already getting in her business. They were already like wanting her for this decathlon, and she is so clear, like, I don't want to be in competitions, I'm very nervous. And then, like, that's the thing, her first friend is Troy, like, that's her first friend at this school, and that's her buddy. And then these other people just kind of, specifically, what's her name, Taylor, is just kind of inserting herself in this, and all of those science nerds are making decisions for her. I mean, with Chad, it's still a jerk move with the basketball bros, but at least it's because they want to win. You know, they really want to win in this basketball. And then they thought Troy was on the same page with them. And now it's like, hey, what's going on? You know, we all agreed we're going to bring our A game, but if our own captain doesn't, you know, that I can see that. I can see the worry, the concern.
He had a very convincing argument or conversation with him in the library. You remember when he's like, do you want to be on the cover of a cereal box, or do you want to be in my mom's refrigerator?
I thought it was so funny that here's Troy Bolton, who knows nothing about the theater, who knows nothing about singing, and then Chad comes along like, do you want to be Michael Crawford?
Yeah, he's dropping knowledge.
He's dropping straight knowledge, the original Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to be Michael Crawford? You want to be in my mom's refrigerator?
Not on. In. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought the mathletes, they didn't have that much skin in the game to like have her not be singing. She could have easily done both, but I guess they pivoted and they were trying to make it more like Taylor didn't like Troy. I mean, she made it very clear that she thinks he's just like a lunkhead and, you know, just one of the basketball guys. Who cares about him? Yeah,
she's like, he's a subspecies.
Yeah. So was that good enough? Or do you think no?
If I was Gabriella, I would cut all of those people out of my life. That's so toxic. But of course, this is High School Musical. They're all friends in the end. We're all in this together. But that got me upset.
It's funny because this is one of those things that, you know, they gotta do this to move the plot along and create create the problems. Mm-hmm. But if he said everything like, guys, I'm committed to the team, blah, 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 blah. If he stopped there, it would have been fine. But he said, Gabriella is not important to me. All right. I'm like, why'd you have to go that far, man?
Come on, man.
But then I feel like he could have still talked it over when he said, are you guys happy? He literally said that. He said, are you guys happy?
Yeah.
That was a giveaway that he was saying it just to get them off his back. Yeah. But, you know, you got to get the problems in here to overcome them.
There were so many scenes that made me laugh. One of them was when Sharpay walks into the bathroom while Gabriella is practicing and Gabriella hides behind that wall.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was not going to let this podcast go without mentioning that hiding, quote unquote, scene.
The hiding scene, for our listeners who don't remember that clearly, there's a scene where Gabriella is practicing breaking free in the bathroom, and Sharpay hears her in the hallway and bursts in, and Gabriella hears her burst in. So Sharpay walks in, there's no Gabriella in sight. She looks around. She even looks at the place that eventually we find out that Gabriella is hiding in. And she looks around. She even kicks in a stall. She looks in the mirror, fixes her hair, and then she walks out. And then we find out that Gabriella is literally hiding like in this little wall divot that if Sharpay did turn around, she would have clearly seen her.
You can't miss her.
There's cannot miss her. There's no way.
You can only purposefully look away from her. That's the only thing you could do because she's
selectively
there.
Blind.
Yeah, it's just it's so famously funny for that, like how bad of a hiding spot that was. And since she only kicked in one stall, they could have just had her in another stall.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You know, stand up on the toilet.
She could have been hiding in the stall right next to that one. Just be like, ooh, I like narrowly escaped.
Yeah, cut to her like with her face like nervous that she's close, but nah, it's fine.
Then there was the scene of, what was it, when they're in detention and the dad / coach comes in, Coach Dad.
Yeah.
He comes in and he's like, where's my team, Darvis? And then cut to the guys in a tree, and he just, my favorite line delivery is, what the heck are those two doing in a tree?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. I love the way he walks into the
it's so
auditorium like that. What the
so
heck are those two doing in the tree? He was great. Ms. Darvis was great.
he is so funny. What the heck are those two doing in a tree?
Tickling his friend with a leaf, tickling his nose.
Boys, get to practice.
Boys being boys.
There is another line where what was it? Oh, Chad is talking to Troy like, why would you even want to join the theater? And he's like, I don't know, Sharpay's kind of cute. And he goes, so is a mountain lion.
Yeah, but you don't get close to it.
I was gonna say this movie was filmed at an actual high school, East High
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Albuquerque. That is like also the premise for High School Musical, the series.
Oh, I thought I heard it was in Utah or something. I don't think it was actually in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Hang on, I have it look like right here. You're right, Salt Lake City, Utah.
There you go. Yeah, I heard it wasn't even. I wonder why they chose
To be in
New
Albuquerque
Mexico. Yeah,
when they could have
but
just said it was Utah.
they could have said it was anything if they decided New Mexico. They could have said it was California, wherever. But
I
that
don't know
doesn't
why they
really
said
matter.
Albuquerque, but
But I was gonna say real quick with the detention scene. She said they were just gonna stay there for 15 minutes. I don't think that was a big deal.
yeah.
So whatever. But then the other
How,
thing,
I didn't go to regular high school. How long is like a period?
a period would be maybe like 45 minutes.
Okay, so she took like 1/3 of that time.
Yeah. Well,
Well, wait, this is like an
no,
after school practice, right? So
yeah, it could be
it would
longer, whatever. We don't know how long they
that
train for.
yeah, that means even less if it's like 15 minutes. Like, oh, we got to stay 15 minutes and paint. I feel like that's not a long punishment at all. Like for
Yeah,
detention, isn't detention usually longer than that?
you're asking the wrong guy. I've never been in detention. I don't know what you're
Uh,
talking
never mind. I'm asking the good boy.
about. I've never been in detention. Well, actually, I don't know. I had to do after school once. I did have to do after school once. That's what they called it, and I forgot for what
Oh,
reason. I forgot why I
Tony.
had to go. But yeah, I was there, and
Shame,
it's
shame,
so annoying.
shame.
It's so annoying. It takes so long when everybody's already home and you stay after school.
You were the dad. You're like, where's my team?
Yeah, I was calling myself up.
What am I doing in a tree?
Yeah. I wanted to say though,
Uh-huh.
what was it? What was this? The second thing you brought up. I'm gonna have to remember it, but yeah, it was something that it was more essential to the story that got me thinking about it.
We were talking about
But
detention. We were talking about being up at a tree. We were talking about how it was filmed at a real high school. Uh, Utah, not New Mexico.
I'm gonna have to remember it later. Hopefully, I do. But
Okay.
uh,
I was gonna say,
something, yeah,
I was gonna say that Sharpay's pink locker is still at that high school,
yeah, I
and
read
it is
that they still use it.
yeah, it's still used by. I want to know, like, do they do anything special? Like, who gets the pink locker? Like, do you have to like compete for it or something, or is it just randomly assigned
Yeah, I don't
to a
know.
student?
I don't know. But I did want to bring up since we're talking about all this.
Hmm.
You had a problem with the lack of support. I had well, not a problem. I didn't have a problem with it because I enjoyed the movie as it was because I know what the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
you're
did not relate to this at all because my high school experience was not like this at all whatsoever. There weren't any cliques. There wasn't a popular kids table. There wasn't a nerdy skater board
there wasn't a
kids.
status quo.
There wasn't a status quo, no. And I was in high school around this time as well. And it's just no, it was completely different. So whenever I watch this movie, I always think, was that just my high school or is this something that TV and movies get wrong like they normally do? Is this something that they just try to portray high school to look like when it's not really like that?
Maybe it's just an over dramatization of some high schools in America. You know how, like, have you ever heard the conversation that Greece is an over exaggeration of how people dressed and acted during the 50s?
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit. Yeah, it was supposed to be almost like satire. It's supposed to be
Their clothes, their speech,
exaggeration.
their hair, like it's supposed to
Yeah,
be an exaggeration of how
They definitely
People,
exaggerated how young these actors they want us to think they are. That's for
yeah.
sure in
So
Greece.
maybe High School Musical is like that. It's an over exaggeration of some of the high schools in America.
I don't think it's over exaggeration. I think it's directors and writers being out of touch with how the school system is because they're so far out of high school. I really don't think they know what it's like anymore. And we kind of spoke about this, but whenever we talk about Spider-Man, I sometimes bring up how like the bullying, like the new Spider-Man, the MCU Spider-Man, there's really no classic bullying like there was in like the Raimi Spider-Mans and like any other show that came out in like the 90s and stuff. Like it'll be people like asking you for your lunch money or giving you a swirly in the toilet, things like that. There's not bullying. I don't know if even bullying exists like that anymore. I think it's a different type of bullying, like cyberbullying
Yeah,
and
it's
things
all
like that.
online.
Yeah, so it's changing, and I feel like when directors and writers want to make a story about high school, I think they're so far removed. They're trying to think back to their own experience, and they're trying to just assume, all right, it's probably like this now. This is probably what High School Musical is. They're probably thinking, oh yeah, there's really strong cliques. There's people who will get judged and shamed if they try to do something outside of their own group. And I feel like what's the big deal? He's really good at basketball and he's really good at singing. What's the big deal here? I don't think anybody, at least in my school, nobody would have called you out for that.
Yeah. I'm thinking because, like, uh, I'll pose a question. Do you think that maybe more like the reason this movie got as popular as it did was because people identified with that situation of, being into two different hobbies and two different cliques at once? Or do you think it was just like the music? Like, do you think the actual story or the message conveyed in this movie did touch people and that's why it got as big as it did? Or just like that wasn't the main factor that like played into its growth?
I think it was definitely a component. Yeah, for sure. I know people, at least at a bare minimum, they do feel it at a personal level and they think, maybe stepping outside of this comfort zone or stepping outside of this personality that people know me for, I'll get judged. People could definitely relate to that. But more so than that is what you mentioned is definitely the music and that it's in high school. Like it's just relatable at that level. Like anyone that was around that age, they're gonna be interested in seeing a story told in high school. I think that's why so many Disney Channel shows are, kids in high school. It usually revolves around that. It's just so easy to relate to. But yeah, I do think is a component for sure, at least at a personal level, that people feel that.
That's what I was thinking is like maybe it is definitely an over exaggeration of how people act in high school. But in terms of the message itself, I think it must have touched a lot of people to like enough to still warrant that growth and success. I think back on like Encanto right now. Um, Encanto has two huge aspects like that that attribute to its popularity, and that is the songs and the story. And I think High School Musical is the same way when it comes to like the message of being for Encanto, it's more of like being accepted by your family and finding acceptance within your family and finding acceptance within yourself. And High School Musical is not so much with your family, but it is more around like your friends and your peers and yourself. So I can see how those two aspects would attribute to the growth, even though it's like, hey, a lot of high schools in America aren't like this, but there are a lot of people with the same struggles as Troy and Gabriella, who they're like, for lack of a better term, like typecasted to be this specific kind of person, but then they're also really into like this other thing.
Yeah, I think again, that's what I'm saying at the personal level. I think is true in that sense. I think everyone feels like, oh, I've never done this before. I've never worn this in front of people. I've never spoken like this. I never shown interest in this. Whatever the case is, there's always that sense of like, oh, should I step out of what I'm known for?
Did I reveal my secret talent or interest or things like
Yeah,
that? Like, will that change people's perception of me?
yeah. But I think for the most part, the things that people are revealing would be so awesome. Like Zeke saying, "Oh, I bake." Like, "Oh, for real, dude?
For
Bring
real?
cookies tomorrow. That's
Yeah.
awesome." Like, come on.
I play the cello. Do you have to wear a suit? Coat and tie.
Gonna die.
No, no,
Oh,
no, no.
no, no, no.
Stick to the stuff you know.
And then the other girl, she's like, sometimes I think it's even better than homework. No, no,
No,
no.
my favorite part of that is like, I like to pop and lock and jam and
Yeah.
break. Is that even legal?
Is that legal?
Not another peep.
Oh man. When we get into the song rankings, I gotta talk about these things. I'm gonna hold it.
I love these songs so
Anything
much.
attached to the songs, I'm gonna hold off until we rank them.
Another aside, you know those Disney mix sticks? You know, are you aware of
What?
those? You know those, like, have you ever seen them? The mix sticks?
What?
They were like before. Okay, I'm gonna send you.
What's that?
They were before iPods came out, or around the time an iPod came out, like the shuffles. But they were like a cheaper thing to buy for your kid. That
Preloaded
way,
with music, and you could just
no. Actually, it did not come preloaded with music.
no.
No. So you see this? I just
Uh-huh.
sent it. This is a Disney mix stick. It is a cheap MP3 player. I think it costed, and when I say cheap, I mean in comparison to other
Yeah,
MP3
cheaper
players
than
at
an
the time.
iPod.
So iPods around the time must have been, I can't remember exactly, but yeah,
Look at
expensive.
that, 240 songs.
Yeah. And so these costed around like $40 to $50. And I remember I really wanted one for Christmas. And my mom got me one around the same time High School Musical came out. And she just went like another step above. By the way, I do want to send you a picture of, not an exact picture of my mix stick, because I lost it. But this was mine. Do you see what kind of mix stick it was?
High School Musical big stick.
It was a High School Musical mix stick. And she went and she bought the High School Musical album on, at the time there was no iTunes. There was walmart.com, and you could buy MP3 files of songs on walmart.com. It was so cool. And so she bought
This is
so retro.
kind of smart from Disney to do, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
so funny to look at. There's no buttons on this.
Oh no, there is. I need to turn it. I need to send you a picture of it on the other side.
I know the headphone jack is at the bottom. I kind of see.
Yeah.
You can plug it in.
There's buttons. Here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mix it. So shuffle.
That's shuffle.
Mix it and shuffle.
Yep. But you see, it's got like the play. That's the top is like the volume, and then you have.
Does it take AA battery or does it charge?
It charges. You have to plug it in to charge it. But yeah, and this was they also at one point the earlier versions had mixed clips. So you could put in a clip and it was like a CD. It was like Disney Mania and stuff, but eventually it just had like an internal storage. So you could just put, and it was so easy to do with like Windows Media because it acted like a USB. So you could just plug it into your computer and then put songs in it and then it would play it. And my mom bought and downloaded.
Straight up a shuffle.
Yeah, it is. It's an iPod shuffle, but by Disney.
Affordable and Disney-fied.
Exactly. So my mom bought me the High School Musical one, and she bought me the High School Musical album on Walmart.com with the MP3 files and put all the songs in there.
Wow.
So I was deep in the High School Musical.
So you were mixing it up?
Oh, I was mixing it up big time. I had my head in the game constantly.
Did you keep this just for Disney stuff, or did you put anything else on it?
Oh no, come on, I was a church girl. I had Lakewood in there. I had a bunch of like the
best. Did you
best.
max out the 240 songs?
Yes, I did. Very frequently. Yes, I did.
That means you had to sacrifice some songs, take some out.
Yeah, straight up. I had to be all like, I don't want to get into the song rankings, but
I know which one you took out. I'm
not talking to you about this.
I know which one you took out. I'll tell you when we get to the song rankings.
Okay, fine. Since I'm so readable, I will tell you this.
No. This isn't about readability this time. I honestly, I don't even know how you have your rankings because this one was really difficult. But I know there's got to be. I just know we have the same one as the last one. I know it.
Okay.
All right.
I'll tell you this. I went through like 4 mix sticks. I listened to it and used it so much they died. Wow. And yeah. And so I remember when I broke my first one, I was like, oh man, as a backup, I had a Walkman which is a CD player. Those portable CD players. You
Yeah,
would
can you
put
explain
double.
this to the generations below us, the younger generation, what that is?
Oh, so a Walkman can either be a portable cassette player or a portable CD player.
Oh wait,
And for
all the younger listeners, have you guys seen Guardians of the Galaxy? That's what Peter has.
that's exactly it. But
Boom, boom, boom,
mine was
boom,
a
boom, boom.
mine was not a cassette. His is a cassette. Mine's was a
Yeah,
CD. So it was it was bigger, it was clunkier, and you would burn a CD and put it in there.
you would do what?
You would burn a CD. You would
You
have to.
mean you want me, Caroline? You want me to edit it and put buy a CD?
No, Tony, you would burn it. You would have to.
With legally purchased music, right?
You could at the time you could if you when
I
iTunes
know, but
came
did
out.
you?
I did.
Did you? All right.
For this, I did because I had to have my mom's permission to burn a CD.
You know, the last episode we spoke about how all the music we downloaded with LimeWire and all
Yeah,
that.
but that was when I had like an iPod and I was in control of
Oh,
my
all
music.
right. Oh,
When
okay,
it was
okay.
the CD era, I had to go through my mom, and so my mom is a very legal abiding citizen. She would always
Okay.
buy her music.
You remember that story you told me right before we hit record about?
I do.
Okay, we'll move on.
What are you trying to do to me, man? What you trying to do?
I'm just trying to keep it 90% in this podcast, you know?
I'm gonna have to lower my honesty rating down. Just
Lower it from 55 to what?
oh my gosh.
How much lower are you going to lower it? 45?
We will have words later, Mister.
40? All right, let's move on.
But yeah, so the music in High School Musical is so iconic. I doubt there's anybody who hasn't heard a song, much less more than one. Like, you can't stop after just hearing one. Even me, when I was when you told me that we were going to do this movie this week, before I even had kind of a day in mind to sit down and watch this movie with, intention, I was already going back to the album, and I just had it on repeat. I just had it on a loop, and man, those songs are good. They're so good.
Mm-hmm.
Which begs the question. I can't believe I didn't do this research before the film. Who wrote the songs?
I don't know. Lin-Manuel, probably.
Under the surface.
He writes all the good ones.
Speaking of which, this is a big aside for our current film, but Dos Oruguitas
Yeah,
on
nominated.
Encanto nominated
Mhm.
for Best Original Song. I hope it wins. I told you repeatedly that's my favorite song in Encanto.
I'm glad is Dos Oruguitas because we don't talk about Bruno is the most popular one by a
It's so-
landslide. But
It's
I'm
so
glad
good.
they chose Dos Oruguitas because
The heart and the story, the emotions.
yeah, it's very nice.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
But don't talk about Bruno. It's the best song in the album. But yeah, Dos Oruguitas.
I got it ranked differently.
Oh yeah. You're a surface pressure guy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see because I'm still debating. If I'm.
We'll save that for our one day Encanto episode if we ever do that. If we ever do that.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the music though, I think we can kind of transition into this topic. The songs, Troy Bolton is not sung by Zac Efron.
Yeah.
It's actually lip syncing that he's doing in the film, and it's by a guy named Drew Seeley. Drew Seeley is the singer who is actually singing in the songs of High School Musical 1. And I looked up the reason. It's because the what's the term? The producers and the filmmakers wanted his voice to be higher. They felt that Zac Efron's singing voice was too deep and too low.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so my guess is that they must have already had the what's the term? The songs themselves already composed and written and everything. But because you know how like whenever a singer comes in and if he has a deep voice, you have to adjust all of the notes and all of the keys lower or higher depending on the voice of the singer. That's kind of like
Yeah.
how so like in
Hugh
the
Jackman?
Yeah, exactly. The Greatest Showman. He was part of the development process from the very beginning. So when the composers were writing the songs, they specifically wrote them in the key of Hugh Jackman. That's why he sounds so great in all of those songs that he's in.
Yeah, what do you
Because
think that's the best way to go about it? You
you would
see what the
think,
singer sounds like
you would
first?
think, but that's not what they did. They already wrote the key, and I need to look this up. I don't know who was casted first, if it was Gabriella, like if it was Vanessa Hudgens or what, but they had already written the music in a specific key, and then the producers, they wanted, the term is a tenor. A tenor is a little bit higher than, I can't remember like these song or these singer terms, but they just felt that Zac Efron's voice was too deep. So then they found Drew Seeley, and Drew Seeley's voice was a tenor, which is that right key for the song, and so that's why they got him. But after this movie in High School Musical, like 2 and 3, Zac Efron did his own singing, and the music was written specifically for his voice. Like they changed the key and they did it to where he could sing. But yeah, that's just so interesting. I guess maybe they also didn't feel confident in Zac Efron singing, which is crazy because look at him now. But
Now he works at a circus.
you mean The Greatest Show?
Now he owns a circus.
You mean he owns The Greatest Show?
Inside of the circus.
The Greatest Show?
Yeah.
This is The Greatest Show.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that because does Zac Efron sing on the balcony?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the first time it sounded like it
real.
Was him. Yeah. And
Real.
the lip syncing was spot on because it was actually coming from his mouth.
That was something I paid attention to in the sequence for We're All in This Together. I was looking at who was lip syncing correctly. Vanessa Hudgens was the only one. She was all in. Like she was like, obviously they're not singing it in that scene, you know, we're all. So she was the only one that was lip syncing her parts. Anytime she did a vocalization or a riff or things like that, she was in it, even during the dancing moments. Anytime it was Drew Seeley, like his voice, Zac Efron was not. He was only singing along with everybody else.
I was reading all the fun facts on IMDb, and apparently Vanessa Hudgens, she doesn't sync up a lot of the times in the movies. Because you have to, they do like a master recording, right? And then they're basically just, it's not recorded live when they're filming.
Yeah, the whole movie, like any song sequence is them lip syncing.
Yeah, so apparently there's a lot of like little slip ups, if you notice, where the first karaoke scene, there's times when she's supposed to be singing and she's just like smiling. And then also with Breaking Free, there's times where she's just like, her mouth is closed or whatever. I didn't care about any of those. I just thought it was funny that, well, first of all, they made a whole list of all the times that it happened, but I'm like, it's fine. It's fine for me. I really don't care.
Yeah. It's such a weird spectrum because you have like, I saw those moments where Vanessa Hudgens was like not either smiling or she wasn't following along with the lip syncing. You have that side of the spectrum, and the other side is Zac Efron giving it the max to his lip syncing, like over pronouncing, over exaggerating. And I think it's so funny, especially like in the first song with The Start of Something New, where he has to jump back in after she sings and he's like, oh.
Yeah. They didn't do the cough. Did he like clear his throat a little bit? I didn't hear it on the mic.
I didn't hear it.
He cleared his throat and they didn't put that in.
Nope.
How come Drew Seeley didn't clear his throat?
He didn't go. What's funny is I feel like there's such a mastership with that. And The Greatest Showman, just like to jump back to that for a little bit, they only did that once, and it was with Rebecca Ferguson and Lauren Aldred for Never Enough. And the way they did that too, they had so much care into it. And obviously we're comparing very different budget and levels of film when it comes to like a Disney Channel original movie and like a theatrical film. But they even like they told Lauren Aldred, they were like, "Hey, you know what? Rebecca Ferguson has this accent, and this is how she pronounces certain words." And so they actually had Rebecca Ferguson sing a song. She sang the song first, and then Lauren Aldred picked up on her accent and her pronunciation and sang the song like as Rebecca Ferguson. And so that's what she did. And so this is just kind of like a way of kind of saying in with Drew Seeley's case, I feel like that could have been done where if there was a scene but this movie, everything was clearly pre-recorded and they were just filming because I think I even read in the fun facts that this film was like this movie was done in like 24 days.
That's
Like
fast.
the filming itself took only 24 days and then to record the soundtrack took 5 days. Like they just expedited this.
That's something I want to say about this movie. Now that we're talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like, you know how in every interview they always ask the actors, did you ever think this movie would be this big or this, so important, or it'll blow up to be a franchise, blah, blah, blah. I really think that about this movie because it was a small budget. It was on the Disney Channel. And when I'm watching these guys, I'm thinking, man, there's a lot of scenes now and songs that are so iconic, but the way that they're shot, it's not like a musical that you would see now, so extravagant and all that. It's just like on a high school auditorium or high school cafeteria or whatever. It's very low scale. When I'm watching Zach, sometimes I think like, does he know that this is a big deal? Or like, is he thinking like, oh, all right, this is going to be a fun little, musical that I'm doing, whatever.
Is this Zac Efron's like claim to fame? This is his first one, right? This is his
I
introduction.
think so. I don't know if he's done anything before this. I
I'm
don't
like,
know, but there were some characters where I thought, like, even Vanessa, I'm like, does she know? Like, is she giving it her all? Does she know that this is going to be a big deal? Obviously, none of them did, but I just appreciate that. I think his name is Lucas, like Lucas and Ashley, right? The
yeah,
actors' names for Ryan and Sharpay.
yeah.
They were just the most exciting and most entertaining characters to me in this
What is
movie. I love when
so
they're on screen.
yeah, what's so neat too is that because they originally auditioned for Troy and Gabriella, both of them. And the Kenny Ortega himself said that when he saw like Ashley Tisdale, he was like, "No, you're Sharpay." And then when he saw Lucas, he was like, "No, you're Ryan." Like he immediately saw the two of them and was like, "No, you're definitely gonna play these characters." And he's so right. Like that was such a great decision because they really embodied those characters. They brought 110%. Some like even see, I was a huge fan of Ashley Tisdale during like the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody and
Yeah,
stuff.
same here.
I was a huge fan of her. And there is like a disconnect, which I mean, like when I look at Sharpay, I don't see Ashley Tisdale. I see Sharpay. Like she did such a great job in acting and how she does Sharpay.
Oh, it's amazing. And you could tell she was having fun with that character because it's just, I feel like it comes so natural to her to be that, like, everything's about me. My life is fabulous. Everyone serves me. And
Evaporate, tall person.
what she does this throughout the whole trilogy. I love her quick emotion changes. Like if she's really
Yes.
smiley and happy, and then she'll like snap, and then she'll have like her mean face on. Or if she's saying like something really mean and snarky, and then she'll like snap to have like, all right, toodles, and then just leave. I love that stuff. She's so good at that.
I like Ryan and his little asides where he's like, "Oh, a little Einsteinette."
Yeah. Are we
He
being are we being pranked?
are
Or are
we
we
being
being punked?
punked?
Is that your
Maybe we'll
catchphrase?
meet Ashton. She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, shut up, Ryan."
Go
he
draw, go draw, go
he
draw.
shines more for me in the second movie. We'll have to get to the second movie at some point, but he becomes one of my favorite characters in the second film.
Oh, he's a shining star in this movie, Caroline. Did you
Specifically,
not see the hip thrusts at the end of this movie?
I chose not to see.
I freeze framed.
No. We're gonna rock the house. I was like, oh, please don't do it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, he's rocking. He's rocking the hips.
He's rocking the house, all right.
No, but their their choreography, their dancing, and their energy just elevates the scene. Like they're committing to these songs.
One
I
hundred
love it.
percent.
I love it so much.
I was gonna go on to like, since we're talking about characters now, my favorite character is Chad. I love him.
Really?
Yeah, he's so funny. Even like, did you know the shirts that he wears in the film? He came up with like Corbin Blue came up with all those lines himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So they made
and
him custom shirts.
they made him custom T-shirts. I come with
Wow.
my own background music. Just
Wow.
a lot of the sayings on his shirts are things that he came up with. And just Chad himself, he's so funny. Even like the Michael Crawford scene, the way he even like the way he apologizes too to Troy. I was like, that's really big of them because like also coming to the apologies, the basketball team was genuinely like, hey, you know what? We got over ahead, like we got over in our head, like we weren't recognizing you and what you wanted and that you can be both things. We were more concerned about ourselves and the win and we're sorry. Like they were so genuine. And then that is such a contrast to the mathletes when they apologized to Gabriella, where
Yeah. She's like, we tried.
we
And walked out.
tried. I was so upset.
I was like, oh, okay.
Did you? Did you really? Oh my! Anytime I think about that face that Taylor makes when she's like, "We tried," I'm like, "No, you didn't. Yeah, you tried.
Yeah.
You tried to ruin her." Oh my
Yeah, she
gosh!
could have been a little bit more convincing, like,
A little more
no,
sincere.
we made Troy say that. We
No, like,
planned all of
no,
this.
really. Like, we did this. We're sorry. We were, and like, she didn't even say what Chad was saying. Like, Chad was over here, like, we were, we only thought about ourselves and we didn't think about you. Like, Chad was so sincere. She wasn't even that way. She was like, yeah, it's not what you thought. Like, this was not, like, what Troy said was not true. It wasn't what's in his heart. And she's like, guys, you don't have to do this for me. She
Yeah,
didn't,
she said, no, he already said it. He said
yeah,
what he meant. And
he
then she
said
goes
what he
back to
meant.
solving an equation.
And they're not even trying to like clear that up with her. They're over here like, oh, we tried. It's like, no, but
We gave it our all. That's it. Let's go, team.
Chad
Yeah,
is my boy.
I
Chad is
like
such a
Chad.
bromance.
I never disliked Chad. I think he's great,
Oh
but
yeah, I
it,
can
it,
never
it took
dislike
that
him.
apology. It took that apology to be like, all right, now you're a little bit better in my eyes because he was leading the charge on like,
We gotta stop
we
this.
can't let
Yeah.
Troy sing. What? No. I'm like, come on, man, let your boy sing.
No.
But yeah, I did love that apology, and I love how he said, I don't remember the exact dialogue, but just when he's like, no, we'll be cheering for you. We want to go there and we'll be cheering for you. And then you see Troy's face like, really? Like, it
Yeah.
was like, that's awesome.
That's my
Yes.
boy right there.
What more could you ask for than having your team show up to your
Yeah.
show and
Cheering you on. So
That
good.
was really good.
At least for my next favorite character, which is Troy Bolton, because he really
Troy is
is.
your favorite?
Troy
Second
is.
favorite?
Well, no, he's right up there with Chad. They're both my boys.
Okay.
Troy is such a great character, so charming, but so like nice. And I feel like in contrast, Gabriella can sometimes get on my nerves. Even I remember even being like as a kid when I was watching this film, she got on my nerves a little bit. I think that, and this is obviously just writing. They want her to be unsure of herself and second guessing everything. But I do feel like a lot of the stuff that she like the decisions she makes and the things that she does is a product of just writing to create conflict. And even then it gets on my nerves because when what was it? I'm trying to remember, but like so many times in the movie she'll be like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, or like even how quick she is to give up. And Troy Bolton, just great guy, always has a good attitude. Even the moment in the movie where he is upset, I was feeling sad for him. Like when he was missing all those basketball shots, I was like, Troy, go sing.
Yeah, in the backyard.
It hurt me. It hurt me to see him upset.
The things that because it's been a while since we've seen this movie multiple times, but what I read about Gabriella that I see people don't like about her is that she's boring, which I don't really agree with, but I know what they're
Yeah.
trying to say. I know they're trying to say that she doesn't really have a strong personality. She's kind of like to herself, a little bit shy and timid, but I think that's just her character. You know, she's very smart, she keeps to herself, and then she doesn't want to come into a new school and then immediately show people up and be known as she says the freaky genius girl. So that's why she's not really standing out too much. But I don't know if that's one of the things you didn't like, where she would like not want to sign up for the play or not want to be on the mathletes or anything. Are you talking about things like that? Things that she was turning down?
That and also the conflict, even like because I have issues with Taylor and the mathletes, but I also have issues with Gabriella, where they're over here like yes, they're not doing a great job, but they are trying to tell her like, hey, you know what, Troy's not that way. Also, it goes back to Troy was her first friend. Like he's more her friend than these mathletes, and she's so quick to give up on him. And then they're not even friends outside of that. Like they're after that whole conflict thing, she's avoiding him and things like that. And I'm like, obviously I'm reading too much into it, and I'm just a little bit more overzealous about this because it is a DCOM, but still, because she does the
But
same
still,
thing in
this is what
like
we're doing.
she does the
We're
same
breaking it down.
thing in High School Musical 2 and 3. Like, even though we're not covering those movies, but she does the same thing. And this is, I can excuse it in High School Musical 1, but when she does the same thing in High School Musical 2 and 3, I'm seeing a pattern. She's always so quick to just give up. And I'm like,
In this movie, I don't remember how exactly or which scenes you're referencing in 2 and 3, but in this movie, I already said like I think is not exactly realistic, and it shouldn't have to be, but it's not exactly realistic to the high school experience for a lot of people. But I think we also have to keep in mind that we're thinking about it with our more logical, older
mm-hmm,
minds than just high schoolers. They're supposed to be, I don't
mm-hmm.
know, 16 or whatever, 15, 16.
I'm trying to think of like the timeline because I was even thinking of like what age are they supposed to be? Because if we follow the timeline of the film,
They
it's
graduate in
in
3,
3, and
so they have to be 17,
it's
18 there.
in 2 it's summer vacation. But does 3 come right after 2? Because in 2 he is talking about like, you know, when he's hanging out with those basketball stars and talking
Yeah.
about getting like, so I'm thinking maybe he is like a junior and this is helping him with his senior year. I don't know.
They look, I mean, yeah, they're not going to cast the exact age,
Yeah, yeah, we're not looking at that.
but yeah, they look, I would say like maybe they're trying to make him be 17, but then that means
I was thinking sophomore, like they're not freshmen. This is not like, oh, we're just entering high school. They've got
yeah,
to be like soft. And then wasn't one of the lines that Chad says is that Zac Efron was the youngest player to make varsity?
yeah, they've known each other for a long time. I was going to mention that too, where Taylor says that Sharpay has never missed, or she's always had the lead role in every play since kindergarten. I don't know how they've known each other that long, or if she's just told everyone that and she knows that. But at the very least, I think that tells you that they've been in the high school for a little while, at least a year. Yeah, so I wouldn't say freshman, but they look a little bit older than sophomore. But I don't know. I think that's the
Sophomore
casting point.
junior is a good, I think is a good reference point. On that note though, I think some of them might have known each other that long because I don't know about Sharpay. I feel like she's the rich girl and I don't even know why she's at East High. Why isn't she at a private school or something if she's so rich?
Yeah, why
But
didn't she move out of Albuquerque, New Mexico?
or I mean like why isn't she going to a higher
A cooler school.
yeah, well almost, but like yeah, you know? Like why isn't she going to a school like that if she's that rich? But because even like Chad and Troy, they've known each other since like what was it? Like they've known each other since kindergarten or preschool or something. Like they've known each
They
other since
mentioned
they were
that?
kids. In the second movie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's something that was in the second movie. But I'm thinking maybe some of them have known each other that long since maybe they've grown in the same city their whole lives and since Gabriella's moving in, like but I'm thinking it's realistic to assume that they've all known each other since they were middle school, elementary?
I don't know. Well, I'm just thinking about my experience to follow somebody from kindergarten and then just so happen to enroll in the same middle school and then happen to enroll in the same high school. Because if it is, I know some schools do middle school and high school in the same place, but I went to a different middle school and then a different high school, and that'll be just straight up planning to stick with your friend the whole time and telling your parents like, hey, I want to go to the same school as Sharpay or whatever.
I went to a private school, and it did have an elementary, middle, and high. And while I didn't have the same educational experience as everybody else did, I do. When I graduated, a lot of my friends that I met in elementary were in my high school graduating class. So when I went
All
to
the way through, or you guys
yeah,
came back
yeah,
together for?
all the way through.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when I saw them again, I was like, "Hey, I remember you." But it was just because mine was a more unique. It was a private school, and um, there were like there we were called legacy students. So there wasn't a lot of us. There was like 5 of us in a class of 30, which is already different comparing to other high schools. A lot of high schools have, at least in my area, have graduating classes of like 200 and more.
Yeah, but on
But
a per class, it's about 30 per
yeah,
class.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so even then that was a small-ish number to be like, oh, we've been in the same school since elementary.
Yeah, I get you.
And
The odds are it's easier to stick together when it's a smaller number of people.
yep, yep. But it's not impossible to think that these people have all known each other since they were little.
Yeah, for me it was just, I mean, yeah, it's possible. And it's been done, obviously. That was your experience. But I was
Thinking
just
because that
thinking,
might be
okay.
a backup to why Taylor herself is like, oh, Troy Bolton is I can't remember what she called him exactly, but she called him like a subspecies. He's a like a basketball brain or something like that.
Yeah. He's just not a fan of, I mean, she's not a fan of him.
She's a hater, straight up. She's a hater.
That's
Mm-mm-mm.
because she doesn't know him for who he really is.
She didn't see him break free yet.
She didn't see him help Kelsey with her musical notes and songs
Oh, I love
and being so
Kelsey.
kind to her.
She's another one of my favorite characters. I think she's so cute.
Favorite character number 3.
I have a lot. I have a lot of characters that I
I
really
know.
enjoy.
I'm pretty sure it's all of them. You just got your own ranking for them.
I do have my own character rankings, yeah. They're not as concrete as our song rankings that we'll get to. But yeah, I definitely have a ranking of characters that I enjoy.
For me, it's Sharpay number 1, and then Ryan.
I have Chad and Troy, and then Ryan. I like Ryan.
So I want to mention this before I forget it. Since we're talking about like the whole, we already went over how their each of their friends groups do their best to take them away from,
Sabotage.
sabotage them, backstab them, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
They do this thing in this movie, and they do this twice. My sister and I, we like to call it out, and we think it's funny. It happens in a lot of movies. I don't even know what to call it, but it's when the characters get together, and then they say something like, "Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. So let's meet at this time, and then we'll go. All right. Break." And then it's like the audience has no idea what they're talking about. They got together and they didn't mention any specifics or details, but they're like, "You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. All right, let's go." And then it's just like, what? What? Just done and over with? The first time is when Taylor and Chad, they don't discuss the plan at all. They just use the scene to come together. They're like, all right, so we're going to do this. I don't know if this was like outside the school or whatever, but obviously this was their plan to set up the webcam and do that whole thing. And then it's like no specifics. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. All right, see you
And then
later.
we see the plan executed.
No plan, no plan. But they just get together to speak very vague and then separate. And then the funniest one, like this is literally, I'm bringing this up because the funniest one, it makes no sense. Where Sharpay managed to convince Miss Darbus to change
Uh-huh.
the date of the play.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. I don't know why Miss Darbus agrees, but she's just like, okay, we changed it. And then Kelsey's looking at the sign up sheet or like the announcement, and she's just staring at it. And then Troy immediately, he gets nervous. He looks and he realized they changed it on the day of the math competition and the big game. So then they're all saying like, "Oh, she ruined it. Yeah, this is Sharpay. Now this whole thing is ruined." And then Troy's like, "Wait, not yet. Nope. Not if we do this together. Are you guys in?" Yeah, yeah. All right, all right. They put their hands on each other's hands. They're like, "All right, Wildcats, whatever." And it's like, wait, you guys have no idea what you're gonna do. Troy literally just brought this up out of nowhere. You guys literally have no idea what you're gonna do.
He's like, we can if we work together. Yeah.
As a team. Yeah. Wildcats, get your head in the game.
What team?
Wildcats.
What team?
But that's why it's like the first one makes sense. The first one is like obviously they spoke about it before, and then the audience is finding out that they planned something. That's fine. But the second one is like, wait. There's no plan yet. What do you guys?
They haven't even had a conversation about what they could possibly do, but they're like, let's bring it in.
Yeah, it's so funny. And it happens in a lot of movies, but just like the first example where they spoken about it, off screen, theoretically or whatever, and then they come together and they're like, all right, you ready to do this? Yeah, I'm ready. All right, let's go. And then boom. But yeah, it doesn't bother me. I just like seeing it and I like calling it out when I see it.
The only thing that I did was whenever they had that, it's the scene after they find out about the callbacks and things like that. I'm still trying to figure out why they were going around and like cheering each other on, where they do that Go Drama Club.
Yeah.
Go draw. Go.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out too. It's like, wait. That's part of the plan. This is part of the plan for them to have t-shirts to spell out Go Drama Club.
Yeah.
Why?
And it's just a callback. Why? It's not the actual play.
Yeah.
This is not the performance. This is not the showtime. This is a callback audition.
Yeah.
Go Drama Club.
And they did it just for...
And they did it also for the Wildcats. They had that big thing on the whiteboard. They're like, oh, an equation. And then they flip the board. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, what did that serve?
What are y'all doing? This is part of the plan.
All this time could have been spent on hacking into the school's mainframe.
That was another... Tony, we spoke about this in our sneakers episode.
Downloading Wi-Fi or whatever they wrote. Triangulating the router.
I turned my brain off to 0% in that scene. I had to... not think about it all at all. Colors. It was following the wires that are just Ethernet cables.
It was following it very slowly too.
How? Also, are they saying that these science? They're doing equations and they're doing chemistry, but that means that they're also hackers. They're just correlating all smart people into the same thing.
Yeah, all smart people know how to code and hack, yes.
All smart people know how to figure out chemistry equations, algebraic equations, and hack into the LED screen.
And that is just true to life. I got no problem with this. All smart people know code. Facts.
I was going to argue against you, but then that would be shooting myself in the foot.
I can't think of a single smart person who doesn't know how to break into their school's mainframe.
Who doesn't know how to hack into the LED screen at their high school gym. We're experiencing technical difficulties and the lights are going on and off. I'm like, how are they doing that?
Yeah, so the plan is to knock out the lights, right?
And the scoreboard.
That's the important part, the scoreboard.
Yep.
And then they also have to just make a chemical reaction in a beaker go off.
Yep. That way the room. Yeah, I was thinking, when did they do that? And why would they do that at a math decathlon?
Yeah, why is it there? Why do they have different liquids?
I've never been to a math decathlon, but do they do chemistry?
All you mathletes out there, do you guys have beakers and bottles out when you're solving equations?
If you're a mathlete or even a biology major, is this something that would be done in a math decathlon? It's just kind of
I don't know, but I also want to know what kind of concoction they came up with to
They were
make it
coming up
smoke
with
but not be dangerous.
they're coming up with COVID 2003. That's what they had to usher everybody out of the room.
That,
2006. This
that's
is
the whole
COVID.
reason we've been quarantined for 2 years now.
COVID 06 instead of COVID 19.
Wow. Thank you, Gabriella.
This is Taylor's doing. I can smell it.
Yeah, I believe it. She would do it. Also, that we could stop cheering on Troy.
Yeah, this is all to sabotage the music that was about to occur.
And then for the game, it was just like, all right, our scoreboard's not working. Everybody evacuate the whole gym.
Yeah, okay. I thought they were at least gonna make if you're gonna write a hack in a movie, turn on the sprinklers. Like turn on the fire alarm. That's how you do it. Everybody, we have to leave. We have to
Yeah, that's a
go
good idea. That's a classic good idea. I like that.
turn on the sprinklers. You don't have like you yes, you can hack the scoreboard to make everybody stop, but then if you're gonna hack, write the hack all the way. Turn on the sprinklers.
I don't think there's reason to leave. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, our scoreboard's not working. Everybody's gotta go to the auditorium.
But it did give a good enough reason for
Although,
Troy to run
wait.
off.
I think I just remembered. They didn't evacuate everybody from the auditorium. They told Troy, like, go to the audition. And then the team went to go cheer them on. And then everybody started following the team.
No, the principal was there. He said, all right, let's all get up and slowly get.
Oh,
The principal was
okay,
there telling
okay.
people to get out.
I didn't remember that
But
part.
yeah, when they saw the team running, they're like, oh, let's follow them. Where are they going?
Yeah. Then they get turn on the sprinklers. That's how you get them to evacuate.
Yeah, they should have hacked into the sprinkler mainframe and turned that on.
The sprinkler grid. And
Yeah, they should have used the
if then else turn on.
what's it called? The codex, the master code. What was it called?
The source code.
No, in sneakers. What was it called?
Oh, well, I'm thinking of like the encryption, but they could have just
I could literally turn a page behind. Let's see if I wrote it down.
please
The code breaker.
the code break.
Yeah, they
Use
should
the black
have.
box.
They should have created a code breaker, hacked into the sprinkler
They're
mainframe.
mathletes. They could have.
Yeah, they could have done it.
Come up with the equation to break the encryption.
I mean, they're creating biohazard weapons in high school while stopping them from making the master key to unlock all encryptions.
Dang, it's a good thing they have this theater to distract them. They could destroy the world with all this
Yeah.
knowledge they have.
All right, so let me bring up also what I'm thinking about Sharpay.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I like her because she's entertaining and all this. She's
Yeah.
she's like-
Yeah.
She also I also like her because she's like the main driving force for at least this movie and the next movie.
Yeah.
Because in this movie, she's like, you know, the antagonist. She causes the play to be on the same day, blah blah blah. And in the next movie, she's like the main driving force because it's at
She's
her.
So mean.
Huh?
She's so mean in the next
Yeah, it's at
movie.
her place. The whole summer vacation is because of her. They all get jobs because of her. But anyways, we're not talking about that. I'm gonna fast forward to the very end, where I feel like we see a glimpse of the real Sharpay. And you remember when this is already after Gabriella and Troy they got the call back or whatever. And then Sharpay tells her,
Yeah.
oh, so I guess I'm
gonna.
gonna be your understudy or whatever if you can't show up, blah blah blah. So go break a leg. And then Gabriella's just staring. And she's like, in show business, that means good luck. She's like, oh, okay. That was the most sincere Sharpay. Like she was not a sore loser. She wasn't upset. She wasn't yelling at her. She literally told her break a leg, and she was like so sincere about it. And there wasn't any like, it wasn't a second like a backhanded compliment, nothing. And I thought that is that's like what she's really like on the inside. And I feel like because she's a theater, like think about Ms. Darbus. Ms. Darbus is like so grand that she speaks like she's always in theater. She's like
My musicale.
Yeah, musicale and proximity to art is cleansing for the soul and all that. Like she doesn't really when she goes home, she doesn't talk like that to her husband or her kids or whatever.
I bet she
think-
does.
Maybe. But Sharpay, I think Sharpay is also very like theater, musicale, and you know, she's very all of that's true. She's self-centered, all that I agree. But I think deep down inside, she really is like a nice person for her to show that she's not a sore loser, to show that she could support someone else in a role that she lived her whole life for and dedicated herself to. I think that's like very mature of her and very nice of her to do that.
I'll give her that. That's very true. She had a great attitude. She could have easily been that character, even from the writing standpoint, that you just write her going like, and then walking off and not being in the final song. But no, she did like take it on the chin and wish her good luck and everything. And she sang "We're all in this together."
Yeah, she was in it together,
Yeah.
the whole gang. So yeah, outside of that, Caroline, I don't know if there's anything else you want to say about the movie before we get into our rankings, because
I think we can
I think that
jump
was all my
in.
thoughts. You want
I
to jump
think
into
we
the rankings?
I think we can jump into the rankings.
All right, good, good. And I mean, there's no reason to bring up an idea if you missed it or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
um,
How do you want to
yeah,
do this, in reverse or in
let's do a
sequential?
reverse. We'll build up to
Okay. Okay.
from the bottom.
Okay.
Also,
Wait, can we get the numbers correct? There's 9 songs, right?
I was just gonna say that. Okay, good. I was at the very beginning. I was just gonna do the 8. We know which one we're talking about. There's one song that's played twice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, but we're doing 9.
Okay. Yeah, I
We're
think we
doing
need to
9.
do 9
Yeah,
because even that song that's twice is very different.
I have it ranked for 9. I
Okay.
do.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So I want to say, all right, so we're officially in the song rankings. I want to say this. While I was watching the movies, I was writing down real quick. Like when the song came up, I wrote it down. When the next song came up, I'm like, do I like it better or worse?
That's
And then,
exactly how I did it. That's
and then
exactly how I did
it
it.
was very easy, very easy. I'm like, all right, I got it. And then I kept hearing it in my car. I'm hearing it like through my workouts and things like that. I'm like, oh, wait. I might have to change this song because this one's pretty good. Hold on. And then before we even started recording today, I was listening to the songs like so much back to back, back to back. I'm like, no, I got to move this. I got to move that. No. And then I came to a conclusion, but it was very difficult for me.
I will have
So
to say this is the hardest song ranking I have ever done.
you've
And
done others?
yeah, when like it just in conversations you and I have had with like Encanto or Greatest Showman, like anytime we talk about a musical
Oh,
and we
yeah.
talk about like, oh, I like this song more than this song and like things like that, to me this one was the hardest one, especially having to cement them in a number. And even now I'm looking at it and I'm still kind of like, oh, that song doesn't deserve to be there. But when I look at the songs above it, I'm like, no, those are like, I would rather hear those over that one. Like, it's just, even then, I still feel kind of torn about a lot of it, but I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, I feel torn as well. I'm like, I can't put this over that. But then this is really good. I wish it was a, it,
Exactly.
no, but
I would,
I'm glad we did this. We have to rank it. We
yep,
have to rank it.
yep.
But
Okay.
yeah, so let's start. Let's
Number
start from number
9.
9. And I will say, I feel like we got the same number 9, and
Okay.
maybe we got the same number 1, maybe. But those were the easiest ones for me. I knew my number 9, and I knew my number 1.
I knew my number 9 off the bat,
Okay.
but number 1, yeah, okay, we'll get to it.
All right. So what's your number 9?
My number 9 is When There Was Me and You.
Absolutely, that's my number 9. Absolutely.
This is, for those who don't remember, this is the solo that Gabriella sings when she is going through. This is the conflict of the movie.
This is
She,
after she saw the webcam stream
yeah,
of
the Troy
of
talking.
Troy saying she's not important.
She's not important. The singing thing isn't important. What's
My head is
important
back in the game.
my head is in the game, and seeing everybody dance to the what will be "We're All in This Together" outside. She starts singing this sad song.
Yep.
She thought Troy was her fairy tale, but no. Yeah, this is, yeah. I don't want to bash the song, but it's the weakest. It's the
No, I gotta bash a
weakest.
little bit. This one is completely forgettable. Easily last place. And I just skipped it. Every time I heard the soundtrack again, I always skipped it.
I have a distinct memory of sitting in my car with my High School Musical mixstick, looking out the window when it's raining and hearing this song and feeling like I was Gabriella. Like I had that like that heartbreak mood. But other than that, this was my like most skipped song on the soundtrack.
So, but you do like it.
Yeah, I don't dislike it, but it's my most skipped song. I think after I heard it 3 or 4 times on my mixtape, I kept skipping it. I was like, I don't want to hear that. Even like now, when these past couple of days I've been hearing the soundtrack, I skip it.
I can say I don't like it. It's just not that good. It's just really not that good. And even the instrumentals, like the
Yeah,
actual song portion of it without the lyrics,
yeah.
it's not recognizable in any way. I bet
Mm-hmm.
I could play it right now and it won't even get copyrighted. I bet nobody will recognize
Nobody
it.
claims it.
Yeah, I could play it and nobody will even know what song it is. I didn't even know the title of this song. I had to look it up after the movie. I
Oh,
was
I
trying to
knew
guess
it
it from the
because
lyrics.
I had it on my mixtape. But yeah, it
Does she even say when there
yeah,
was me and
yeah.
you in the
It's like
song?
when there was me and you.
Okay. Because
Hmm.
I was thinking like, what is the song? And then I just wrote down fairy tale because she says fairy tale at one point. I'm like, all right, fairy tale for now. That's a placeholder. But yeah, it's not good.
Yep, bottom.
Let's
Bottom
move
of the
on. Let's do
number
number
8.
8.
You what's your number 8, Tony?
Me first.
Yes.
My number 8 is something new. Yep.
What?
Karaoke, something new.
What?
Yeah.
Tony.
It's low, but after number 9, all of these are incredible already.
Okay, yeah,
It's
okay.
so
That's
hard.
fair.
Like
That's fair. My number 8 is Bop to the Top.
oh no. This ranking segment is over.
Already,
That is my Xbox bio.
we're
This ranking segment is officially
I think I
concluded.
now know
Thank you
your
everyone
number
for
one.
listening. Follow us on blah blah blah. Until next time.
I think I know your number one song now.
We'll see.
All right, Tony.
Wow.
Why is something new number 8 for you?
All right. So like I said, after when there was me and you, everything else is fantastic, and it's so hard to just choose
Agreed.
the ranking. So something new is so beautiful, and I do like it. But I think at that point, it gets a little bit more personal, and it's like I naturally gravitate to more upbeat and energetic music. So
Okay.
that's really the only reason why is a little bit lower, or I guess the lowest once you take out number 9.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's really it. But I like the song; it's great. It really is. But I got to put it somewhere, and there it is.
That's fair. That's fair. I have Bop to the Top as my number 8
Okay.
because first I've established myself as a non-Sharpay
Yeah,
sympathizer.
Sharpay hater in the house.
Yeah, someone's got to be
Sharp
in
hater.
this pod, a Sharp hater.
Uh huh.
But also, I feel like I do not like the style of that song. I didn't like the. It's to me, it's cringy. It's a really cringy song to me. Even that like beginning grito that she gives and all of that. That shake some booty and turn around. I'm like, ugh.
How do you rank a song so low that has booty in it?
Easily in this case, easily. This ain't my Matt Booty, I'll tell you that.
This song was one of the ones that I was thinking about when I say they commit so much to it. Like they were having the most fun. I love the dancing. I love their outfits. Ryan always has his
He's always on point.
wild outfits, but I love Sharpay's outfit. I love how they're dancing to it. I like the energy. I love how it starts with that, the mucho gusto, and then muy fabulosa. Yeah, we're gonna ba to the top. It's like perfect.
I can't stand it.
It's perfect. It's an excellent song.
I can't stand it. It's my number 8.
All right, so it's cheesy. It's
Yeah,
cheesy.
it cheesy is putting it very nicely, but I'll agree to that.
I think it shows the best parts of High School Musical and just the excitement it can bring.
Number 7.
Number 7. Me or
My
you?
yeah,
Who talks
I'll
first?
go.
Who talks
Yeah,
first? You talk first or I
you
talk?
talk first. I talk first. Somehow Palpatine
Go
returned.
ahead.
Number 7 is what I've been looking for, the Sharpay and Ryan version.
Okay. Interesting. My number
It
7 is what I've been looking for, the Troy Gabriella version.
I knew it. Well. I think I can already tell your critiques, judging already from something new, that this since you gravitate to the upbeat, and this is another slow song, that you're
Mm.
already like, it's gonna be lower.
That doesn't determine my whole list.
But that does determine your deciding factors.
This one, it was that what I mentioned, but also I think this is hard because you could rank it on so many things, and sometimes I even took in like the presentation of the song, So again, I got to see Ryan and Sharpay full choreographed dance to this song, and again bringing all their energy, and then it was, although it was sweet, they're singing with Kelsey, but just at the piano, it's a little bit slower, and it's like, this is very nice. This is very nice, but I feel like I give it more credit that it was a full blown presentation with Ryan and Sharpay.
I think, first of all, it's a little bit weird that a brother and a sister are singing this song about each other.
Yeah, so this is another thing that I was seeing people mention online, that
We hadn't even touched on that before we got into these song rankings, is that aspect.
yeah, but this is another thing I found interesting. People were saying, yeah, that's true. They're singing this song and they're brother and sister.
You would think they're twins too, right? Because
I don't know.
if they're in the same grade and they graduate at the same time.
That's true. That's true. They gotta be yeah, they gotta be twins.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. I never thought of that. But yeah, Kelsey said she wrote this song. She wrote the song for them, right? This is Kelsey's original writing.
Yes.
And Ryan and Sharpay changed it.
They had it reworked.
Yeah. Now I think they did it for that purpose. The way that they sing it, it doesn't sound
like a love song.
Romantic. It's not a romantic song anymore. Now it's more like a supportive friend or even brother and sister, more upbeat song. And I thought that was pretty clever. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't know if they just try to make them sound like the bad version of the song or not, but I thought it came across a lot better and it makes sense.
It falls in line also with the type of song they were singing with Bop to the Top. I think that she's into those more upbeat show tunes style of music, and those two, Bop to the Top and the what I've been looking for, their version, sound more show tuney. So yeah. I do believe that too. They were trying to make it less romantic and more show tuney. But that's also like why I kind of place the Sharpay and Ryan version lower, is because I felt like it lost its genuineness after they reworked it just to make them sound better and to be in a better light.
But yeah, also you got to think, if Troy never ever signs up for theater, Gabriella was never a student in the school, and it's really only Sharpay and Ryan that are ever really committed to theater, and they're going to get the lead roles. And they have to rework that song because it is written romantically, but if they're the only ones for that role, they're not going to sing it like that.
This is the theater. You do not conform the theater to Sharpay and Ryan.
Just like they don't conform for Zac Efron, like they do for Greatest Showman and Hugh Jackman.
You don't conform.
Did we not just say that it's better that way when you conform the song to the singers?
I'm saying when it comes to theater, you don't change the story for the actors.
But this is a school play where it really is such a small group of people who care about theater. We just went over how nobody cares about theater until the cool people start singing.
That doesn't mean you have an excuse.
All right, so sing. All right, your brother or sister, let's sing it all romantically.
That means that just means that if they're gonna be a brother, if it's only them two, then you're gonna have to recast one of them. Get somebody else to play. I can't remember the names of the act, like the characters that
Who
they're
who
supposed to
else?
be.
Who
I
else can you
don't know.
get?
You had a couple of people auditioning. Give them a chance.
You heard the auditions, Caroline.
Give them a chance.
It's hard to believe that I couldn't see.
Give
You
them some
were
vocal training.
always right there, close to
Beside me.
beside me,
Oh, we're always right there next to you, beside
beside
me.
me. I know he said. Wait, he also says it's hard to believe that I
The-
couldn't sneeze.
See?
You were. you, you want that guy singing?
If I could
What
get
I've been
a
looking for.
couple of more seconds of that guy. Oh, that's so funny.
That audition scene, by the way, they were all great singers. You could tell they
Yeah.
all actually knew how to sing, and they were purposely
That
sounding
opera
bad.
singer girl. Oh, she had actual talent.
Yeah, I think every single one of them can actually sing, and they just were sounding bad.
They hammed it up.
Yeah. But all right,
Number
we'll go
6.
to number 6. My number 6 is what I've been looking for.
The Sharpay Ryan
Yeah,
version.
yeah, Ryan and Sharpay, what I've been looking for.
What a coincidence. Because my number 6 is what I've been looking for, the Troy and Gabriella version.
All right,
There we go.
so we can move on.
We can.
All right, so what's your number 5?
Number 5 for me is Stick to the Status Quo.
Ooh, ooh. My number 5 is Get Your Head in the Game.
Oh, you put it so low. You don't.
All right,
Are
let's
you
hear it.
afraid? Are you afraid to hit the outside, Jay?
I was a little timid, but yeah.
For me, Stick to the Status Quo is a great song. I am ashamed to put it so low on my list because it's one of my favorites. Definitely one of the most repeated songs on my mixtape. But all of the other songs above it, I just love infinitely more. So to me, there's actually no fault within this song for me. I just love the other songs a little bit more, but this song, Stick to the Status Quo, is so memorable. So good that no, stick to the stuff you know. It's so good, but I just thought that this is the only reason why it's number 5 on my list is just because I love the other 4 songs a little bit more.
It's pretty much the same for me. And yeah, you just have to find a place for these songs. But it's funny because Get Your Head in the Game, I actually had at number 8 for a little while. I'm like, no, it's not that low. I got to find a better spot for it. So I kept on hearing them
I
over
almost
and over again.
unfriended you
Different
right
songs.
now. How dare you?
Oh, I already checked your Xbox. I already did when you told me Bop to the Top is number 8. So I'm like, yeah, is not number 8. I kept moving it up. And yeah, I think 5 is a good spot because everything else I actually just listen to more. I just listen to it more. But yeah, Stick to the Status Quo. I think again, I like the presentation. I like the choreography in the cafeteria. I like how it starts off with Sharpay overlooking on the balcony, kind of like a villain.
Yeah.
You know, she's watching over everybody. And then it's a very pivotal moment in the whole movie. That's when everybody confesses their secret passions and when they're all getting rejected. It's a really great song.
Also, I think for Stick to the Status Quo, that is, I think it's one of the only times we see Sharpay sing and be genuine. All of her other songs are her playing a part. But in this song, it's actually Sharpay, and it's just her being all like, this is not what I want. Like she's genuinely upset and
something is really something's not right.
Really
wrong. That's a great part.
I love it. The way she moves her hand.
Everybody quiet. It's good, Caroline. It's really good.
So good. It hurts me to put it there. It really hurts me to put it there. But so yeah, same for you. Get your head in the game.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about Get Your Head in the Game because I have it at number 5. But one more thing about Status Quo, since you have it at 5, I like the whole song is great, and then I love how it really picks up after Gabriella's like, why is everyone staring at you? Not
Yeah.
me, you. She's like, no, I can't have this. Not so close to whatever
The
callbacks or whatever.
callbacks.
She leaves, and then they go,
No,
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 no.
no, like the big explosion.
Yeah.
Stick to the stuff you
Choreography.
know.
Choreography is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
such a good song.
it was a really good song. So get your head in the game. I don't even have anything bad to say about it because it's just
Yeah.
fantastic. But again, I just got to put it somewhere. But I'll tell you why I kept on like pushing it up, because at first, I was ranking it as I was watching it. So as soon as it came up, I thought, all right, yeah, I do like it. Obviously better than when there was Me and You. And then actually, I don't think I had it at 8. I probably had it at 7, but whatever. And then I was like, Something New. Yeah, it's better than Something New. But every time I heard it, I got more appreciation for it, like the sneaker sounds, the basketball bouncing, and then the
Mm-hmm.
choreography in this song is really good too.
It's
Everything they do with the basketball,
amazing. Amazing.
yeah, and then all this. I love the shoot the outside J. I think I made the joke when we were watching it together.
Yeah,
Like, I'm like, people who played basketball did not write this song to shoot
absolutely.
the outside J. Come on. Don't be afraid to shoot the outside J.
Get your head in the
But
game.
I love it. It's energetic. Is what I want. It is great.
This
It's memorable.
we talked about how when there was Me and You, how you said if you were to just play the song, like no
I was
singing,
just gonna mention that. If
yeah,
I play
yeah,
that right now, people will know what song it is right now.
instantly with Get Your
Yeah,
Head in the Game. If you just play the first 2 seconds, people will instantly know what
very
song that
unique.
is.
Very unique song.
It's so unique with the sound of sneakers and basketball like dribbling. It's so good.
But yeah, and then the pause in the middle, your
Why
bio that
am
you
I
have now.
feeling so wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, that's number 5. Number
Yeah.
5.
All right, number 4.
Number 4. Who's next?
You.
Me?
Yes.
Stick to the status quo.
Ah!
That's my number 4.
That's fair. That's fair.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the start of something new.
Wow, it's pretty high up.
Yeah, I
It's
will.
just right underneath top 3. Okay.
Yep. I will say though, it's a little bit of a hypocrisy for me because this song is my most repeated song. I remember hearing this on single repeat, like just this song over and over again when I was a kid. This was my favorite song when I was younger. But when I was going, like now that I am an adult and I was ranking these songs on my own, the other 3, it's the same reason that Status Quo is number 5. I love the start of something new. It's so beautiful. It's so memorable. I love the lyrics. I love the first line with that Troy Bolton sings. Just that intro, that living in my own world. It's
Yeah.
so iconic. So iconic.
That clearing of the throat is iconic for me.
I never opened my heart. Oh.
I like it because they get so into it.
They
the
do.
lyrics are on the screen and they're reading from the lyrics, and then halfway through the song they're not even looking anymore.
Yeah, they're
they
not
just
even.
know.
I love
They know the song.
when Troy Bolton takes off his jacket and everybody starts cheering.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd both be here tonight.
He's wearing that weird button down.
Yeah, that's not tucked in.
Yeah.
He's got his sleeves past his knuckles. Classic.
He's wearing his dad's button down shirt.
Classic Disney Channel fashion. Amazing. Gabriella's just wearing like a blouse and a skirt. I feel like I had that outfit when I was young too. It's so early
You want
2000s.
to be like Gabriella?
Oh, you'll be surprised on how many times a lot of what Gabriella wore in High School Musical, even like in High School Musical 2, I would purposefully go to JCPenney's and they had like a line too, like for young girls. They had like a High School Musical line. And I bought a lot of blouses because I was like, that looks like Gabriella's top
Hey, there you
in
go.
High School Musical. We didn't touch on this a lot in like before we got to the rankings, but the High School Musical mania for me was real. I was deeply obsessed with this movie when I was a kid.
It was
And
huge.
yeah, I was part of that wave. But the start of something new is definitely one of my favorites. I love how they get so into it, especially Troy Bolton when he gets to that, like, I never knew that it could
Yeah,
happen
it's
when it
good.
happened to me. It's so, it starts slow, but when it picks up, it picks up.
Hmm.
So good.
All right, let's do 3.
All right,
Right?
top
Because I
three.
already spoke my love
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the
We're
stick to the
stick to the
status
status
quo.
quo. No, no, no.
All right, 3. Who goes first?
Is it me again? Yeah, because you did stick to the status quo.
Oh yeah,
Okay. So my number 3 is Get Your Head in the Game.
yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
I thought right now I'm not sure what it is, but when I was watching the movie, I was thinking Get Your Hand in the Game might be your number 1. But
You know, it was when I was in the moment making these rankings, but I had the same thought process you did. I was making the rankings while I was watching the movie, and then after hearing the soundtrack a bunch of times, I reordered it a little bit.
okay.
But this was my number 1, especially I don't know if this song is on the soundtrack. I heard the playlist of High School Musical on Spotify, so I don't know if this was included, but B5, I don't know if you remember the B5.
No,
They
what's that?
did they were like a boy band that rapped but also did like this pop music. They were part of Disney,
Okay.
and they did a lot of like Disney Mania songs, and they did B5 did a Get Your Head in the Game remix. They covered it and like added a little bit more hip hop into it, and I love that version. If you ever get the chance, you need to look it up. But Get Your Head in the
Yeah, send it to
Game.
me.
Yeah, I will. Get Your Head in the Game is so classic, but like it's the only reason it's number 3 is because the other 2 are iconic. And it was my number 1. I used to have this song stuck in my head for days on end. This song was the one, like I said, how Something New was the song I always repeated. Like I would repeat that one endlessly on my mixtape. But Get Your Head in the Game was the one that stuck in my head like bubble gum. I would sing this in the shower and like in car rides when I didn't have my music with me. Like that was the song that was stuck in my head constantly. And you know, we talked about it already, but it's just so iconic with the song style, how memorable it is, the
Oh,
music.
absolutely.
It's
The
so
energy it
good.
brings.
Yeah, it was definitely in contention for being number 1, but
And look at the
yeah.
choreography again. It's so cool.
Oh,
What they do with the basketball
so good.
is really good.
So good. All right, Tony, you're number
My
3.
number
Hit me.
3. Yeah, we're gonna bop, 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 bop to the top. It's bop to the top.
I kind of figured. I was waiting for it. I was like, I was thinking to myself right now, this better not be his number 1. I really hope it's like his number 3 or something.
What?
Woo,
Why?
woo.
Why? It's number 1 worthy. It's very much number 1 worthy.
I've said my piece about that song, but yeah,
And I've said my piece. It's fantastic.
number 3. That's fair. That's really fair. I think though that only leaves 2 songs next for our
It
top
leaves 2
2.
songs that we both have,
Yep, for our top 2.
probably in different orders or the
Yeah,
same order.
I think it's going to be different.
Oh, all right. I think that confirms that it's different if you say that.
Mm.
It confirms it's different if you say that.
I think it's going to be different. Let's go for it. Let's just shoot it, and then we'll talk about both songs.
All right. Yeah,
Number
so
2.
we say number 2 and we'll know what number 1 is.
Exactly.
We should say at the same time, see if we accidentally say the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to do the same thing that we did last time?
Yeah, right after 1.
Okay.
No go, just right after 1. Okay,
All right.
3, 2, 1.
We're
Breaking
all in
free.
this together.
Oh! Yeah, as soon as you said that, like you just confirmed. Yeah, you confirmed that is different.
I knew it. I knew you were not going to put Breaking Free as your number 1.
Yeah, we really got to talk about this because I think All in This Together is the de facto High School Musical song. It's just incredibly awesome, and it is so good. That's the one that is known for. So much so that it comes back in High School Musical 3.
Yep, that's the one they had to bring back.
That's their theme song, pretty much. All in This Together. But yeah, let's talk about both songs. You have...
I think we can talk about We're All in This Together last, because I do want to preface. If this list was just about the best songs objectively, yes, I would agree We're All in This Together is the best song on the High School Musical soundtrack. Like, absolutely. My favorite song out of all of them is Breaking Free.
Okay.
Like that's the reason it's number one for me. It's Breaking Free is my favorite song.
So you
It's
want to let's hear that. Yeah, let's hear why.
yeah, we'll talk about Breaking Free since that's also your number two.
Yeah.
And I'm the only reason it's number two is because We're All in This Together exists, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But for me, Breaking Free is so good. This is the climax of the character arcs of Troy and Gabriella. This is them literally breaking free. Gabriella's not getting stage fright. Troy is showing who he is in front of his team, his dad, his whole student body. This is them. Like the whole conflict of the show is that they're afraid of showing their true selves, like their other passions, their other interests to other people because they're so typecasted as these specific cliques. But this is literally about them breaking free and then just taking away from that, from the story. It's such a good song. It starts off slow, like something new, but when it picks up, it picks up. Also, I might add, this was the song that charted on the Billboard at the time. The album itself was like number one when it came out and everything, but out of all the songs that grew in popularity, Breaking Free hit the highest. So I think that
I feel like I've been missing those lately. With the we don't talk about Bruno and now this. I feel like my favorite ones are not the top charting ones.
Oh, you'll be surprised. The We Don't Talk About Bruno is number one on the Billboard.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm saying I'm missing them. I'm missing my favorite ones are not the ones that are the high the number one.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Breaking Free is just it's my favorite song. I could hear it endlessly and never get tired of it. And even now it's in my I have a playlist, like my everyday playlist. I think I've spoken to you about it many times, and Breaking Free is in that playlist. It's never left since I was a youngin'. Since 2006, it's been in my everyday playlist. I can't take it out.
Oh yeah, I believe that. I believe you've had it there since your mix stick.
Oh yeah.
All the way until now.
I've had a mix stick, Walkman, iPod, all the way up to now with Spotify. Throughout the years, Breaking Free has been with me.
So Breaking Free, this is why I said my whole list is not determined by my personal taste, because this is a little bit slower and not as energetic as I typically like my songs. But it does pick up. It does pick up. But yeah, everything you said, because I was taking those things into consideration, like I was mentioning before. I do like not only the song, but the presentations of these songs and the dances and the choreography that goes along with them. And Breaking Free, I just got to give it all that credit. It's the moment we've all been building up to. It's when they broke free from their self-imposed prisons, or like the prisons that high school puts on them, that you got to stick to the stuff you know. And yeah, he's singing in front of his whole basketball team, pretty much the whole school, his dad, Gabriella singing in front of her mom, her whole math league, the Cathalon club, whatever. It's incredible. It really is amazing that everyone is there to see that. And everyone is cheering them on. Is pretty much an entire celebration. Even from Ms. Darbus, that people care about theater this much. I kind of felt like I got that from her as well. Like, again, I want to emphasize, nobody cares about theater until these guys show up and start singing. So this is a huge celebration. And as I was watching it, I was thinking this is a really good song. And I got to put it all the way, as far as I can, underneath all of this together, because it's just that good. It really is.
It is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But speaking about the presentation, Breaking Free is a great song, but it is missing the choreography. We get a little bit of Zac Efron doing his little
moonwalk.
Robot.
He does a moonwalk. You get Gabriella doing an outfit change.
Yeah, she does a little outfit change, and like they do a little bit of that riffing where they just kind of vibe with the song. But what makes transitioning now to We're All in This Together, what makes this the number one song is not it's a great song on its own, but the choreography, the way it is in the movie, this is the way to close out this film, and they close it out with a bang. The choreography is so good in We're All in This Together. I know it by heart.
It has the best dance. Probably ever because it's
Yeah.
just it's so simple. Don't you just want to dance with them? Don't you want to like
Dude,
when you
I
see
think I
them
told
dancing?
you when
You
I was a
told me.
kid. Yeah,
You
okay.
told me.
I'll say
Let's
it on
hear
the
it.
pod.
Let them know.
When I was a kid and this movie came out, I had a sleepover with my best friend Ashley, and we did we did the dance. We were like trying to practice and learn, and we were doing it in front of the TV. It was so fun. Like, how can you resist getting up and dancing along with them? It's such a great dance. Even
I gotta learn it, and I am gonna learn it.
that's gonna be your homework assignment for next December.
Yeah. Oh no, no. Oh, as
Come
long as
on.
I'm not the only one.
I'll do it with you.
All right, all right. So I'm gonna learn it then.
It's so good. Even when do you remember during I don't know if you no, you don't watch TV, but during the real height of the pandemic, ABC was doing like the Disney sing along and they had all these celebrities doing like their versions of a popular Disney song like Katy Perry did what's it called? Like I don't know, some Cruella de Vil song or something. And
Oh, really? I want to see that.
something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly, but she had like her dog with her and things like that. And they brought the High School Musical cast to do a comeback. And the only one that it wasn't in it was Zac Efron because he was currently filming in Brazil. But
Oh,
they
I
had
did see that. They did like a
yeah,
Zoom call of the All in This Together, right?
exactly. And but like I was gonna say, that's the song they picked to bring back was "We're All in This Together," and they were doing the choreography. It was so iconic.
This song is just, it doesn't even need to rely on the choreography or anything. It's just an
Yeah,
incredible
yeah.
song on its own.
I love when it hits that wildcats everywhere.
Yeah,
Raise your hands up in the air.
it's so energetic. It's such a celebration.
Wildcat, sing
When I
along.
hear it,
Yeah, you
I
really
think
got
of
it
my high
going
school
on.
graduation and just like high school
Oh
memories.
yeah.
It just hits you with that nostalgia. On top of his own nostalgia of being a movie that we saw when we were younger,
Mm-hmm.
it's just incredible. And then when you include the choreography and all the characters and everyone has their glow up. Kelsey, is rocking it.
Yeah.
Gabriella, everyone is at the top of their game. Ryan has maximum hip thrust activated. Sharpay has the best entrance. When Ryan jumps, they catch him, they lift him up, and then Sharpay comes
Yes.
singing, dance,
Under the
walking.
arch.
Yeah, it over delivered. This is the song, the best dance in the gym. Is like it's so good.
So you're gonna make me rewatch the movie now, or at least this video of "We're
We
on
should
This
watch this
Together."
video again. It was
Yeah.
amazing. There's balloons, there's confetti. Like it's a huge celebration.
And I love the
And
camera pans. It's all of our favorite characters in it. It's not just like the main characters. Everybody's in it. The basketball team, Kelsey, everybody's like dancing along
even
with
that they
this
got
song.
Sharpay and Ryan, I think is great because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're seeing the villains with the heroes. They're dancing along, and then they all rock it too. Everyone is doing that
Oh
dance.
yeah. They're in
Everyone
sync.
is doing that dance.
I gotta give obviously Kenny Ortega, he is the choreographer, but also I guess like the dancing director. Just the way that this is the film aspect of it, the camera pans, how they were able to get everybody in sync. I don't see anybody, I guess, like falling or out of line or things like that. The choreography was done to where so memorable, so easy. I think that they did that on purpose also for kids who are watching it at home. They could mimic it.
Oh man, that says a lot about me. I haven't learned it with how simple it is. I'm like,
once
wait,
you
so
once you
two
start
fist pumps
picking it up,
downward,
we're all in this clap together.
two fist pumps downward, one clap
Once
above your
we
head,
know we're all stars
step,
that we
cross
are,
step,
and we
cross step
see
across,
it.
twist around.
We're all in this. You gotta stand to the side, nod your head, lean back.
Yeah, and then at one point you have your arms open and you walk forward or
Oh,
something.
then you
I
have to
don't know.
cross your arms at one part. You gotta go,
Yeah. Once you know who you
you
are,
are.
we're all stars.
And we see that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna watch this video after
It
this.
it's the best song of the whole trilogy, easily. I can say it right now. It's the best song of all three movies.
I can absolutely agree. Even whenever we watched High School Musical 3 and they had the orchestral version,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I wanted to cry. It was so beautiful.
when they did their Avengers credits with the orchestral version, and everybody stood forward just to like, yeah. You actually did it like the you did it like the Jurassic Park.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, never mind.
But yes, it's a beautiful,
Amazing
song.
song.
Amazing song. That was good. I'm glad we did this ranking. Every musical from here on forward will have a rankings.
Absolutely, I agree. We need to.
Right. Good. And if you don't have anything else to say about the songs, I'm gonna mention one more thing. Do you have anything else to say about any song or any one of the songs we spoke of?
Nope, speak your mind.
Okay, I'm just gonna mention. We gotta mention the end credit scene. It was very nice.
Heard. Yeah, the end credits with Zeke.
Yeah, and Sharpay falling crazy in love with the
best
cookie.
cookies I've ever tasted in my life.
Yeah, that was a good note to end it on.
It was cute, especially because he is like after her the whole movie.
Yeah,
he genuinely likes her.
Maybe you
is
can
like,
watch me play basketball sometime.
Evaporate, tall person.
No, did she say something? I'd rather stick needles in my eyes or something.
Needles in my eyes. That's right.
He's like, wouldn't that be awfully uncomfortable?
He's so sweet. And I think if memory serves correctly, isn't like in the second movie, he's the only one that's not smack talking her?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to remember, but I thought that like even in the second movie when they were all like, I can't believe we have to work for the princess out there, and he's the only one that's like, it's not that bad. Sharpay can be pretty nice.
Okay. That seems more familiar. Yeah. Yeah, so I agree with Zeke, honestly.
You're team Zeke? Team Sharpay, really?
Team Sharpay.
Yeah,
Sharpay.
you're
Big
with
time.
Zeke. And I'm trying to think of like what her Sharpay fan club would be, like the Jake Paulers.
I have no idea.
Sharpayers.
Sharpay gang.
Are you
I think she's just so important to these
Sharpie?
movies. No.
You're a Sharpie?
The Sharpies.
The Sharpies.
But yeah, that's about it.
That
you
is
know what
about-
did come to mind though? I just want to say that this has to do with the movie.
Okay.
And I think it's worth mentioning that Troy, after he does a karaoke, he wants to sign up for the callbacks before he even knows that Gabriella is going to sign up for sure. Like, she told him like she's not going to do it. She doesn't want to join anything in her first week in school, but he still wants to do it. So he loved singing that much.
That was something that I've seen this movie so many times, but it took this watch to kind of put that together for me. I didn't realize that until now. They both show up at the audition on their own. They didn't talk to each other beforehand or anything like that. That's how much they had.
Yeah, they were saying like, are you going to audition? Nah, I don't know. Are you?
Yeah,
nah,
she's like, yeah. She's like, I'm not going to be in anything. Yeah, but they both show up because they both really liked singing.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. They weren't necessarily doing it because they liked each other. It was
exactly. And I had kind of equated that in my mind in the past, just thinking about this movie and passing. That didn't take away from it or anything, but I just always I equated it to them being like, I like singing with you. Like part of it was,
I thought the same thing. Yeah, I want to sing with you, but they just like singing. Yeah,
they liked performing and singing and belting their heart out. I thought that was really neat. And it plays into High School Musical 3, where he chooses to go to a college that has a good basketball program and a good performing arts program. That's how much he...
Best of both worlds.
Yeah. Wrong Disney media.
We'll do that later. I can almost see it.
Mix it all together and you know that it's the best of both worlds.
All right. I think that's it, Caroline. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
I think we ended it on... I think we can end it on a great note right there. High School Musical, amazing. And right in time for Valentine's Day. Did you know this song is included? This movie is included in the Valentine's Day collection on Disney Plus. So I was like, right,
I
on
had
theme.
no idea, and I forgot
Yeah.
again Valentine's Day was coming up.
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't think about that. But
We don't think about Valentine.
No, no.
Yeah, I didn't even. I this was unintentional. I just wanted to do a decom.
I was, when you told me we're doing High School Musical, in the back of my mind, I was like, this is good. I like being on theme with the season. So I was like, yeah, this works. This
But they could
works.
hear this whenever. They could hear this in October. They could hear this in
But
December.
most of them are going to
Whenever.
hear it this Sunday when it's,
You never know.
that's true. But still,
This is a time capsule. People are gonna listen whenever they want.
well, as of right now, we're in the season of Valentine's, and this
Okay.
movie is included in the Valentine's Day collection on Disney Plus. So it's
Alrighty.
worth a rewatch if you haven't seen it in a while, everybody.
Or at least listen to the songs.
Oh,
Give it a
so
play.
good.
All right, Caroline. Tell
Wildcats
tell them the good
everywhere.
stuff, and then
Raise your
we
hands
can
up
head on
in
out.
the air. Everybody, if you want to, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting platform, such as Spotify, Apple Music, Pocket Cast, whatever floats your boat, be sure to give us a follow and an honest rating, please. If you're hearing us on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to hear more. If you want to give us a suggestion for a movie we should watch, you could reach us in our social media platforms, which are Instagram and Twitter. We are at Elbow Nudge.
Yeah, everyone, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Get your head in the game.